Hello and welcome to the Street Crime UK YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Today we look at two Nottinghamshire brothers who have been jailed for kidnapping a businessman off the street and threatening to cut off his toes. Dominic and Jason Usher, along with Greg King, forced the 53-year-old man into a van in Hainault, Derbyshire and bound his legs and hands on the evening of Monday, April 28, 2014. They punched him and threatened to stab him and chop his toes off if he didn't give him the keys to his safe. When he was not forthcoming, the man paid his friend a visit and attempted to blackmail him. Unsuccessfully, they then took their victim to a remote farm track in Watnall and left him to find his own way to safety, shoeless, battered and bruised, with his legs and hands still bound. He eventually flagged down a passing motorist. A trial at Stafford Crown Court found Dominic, 29, of Coleman Walk, Nottingham, guilty of kidnap, blackmail, robbery and arson. He also admitted to conspiring to pervert the course of justice and was sentenced to life imprisonment with a tariff of 11.5 years. Jason, 27, of Willow Hill Close in Nottingham, pleaded guilty to kidnap, blackmail and arson and was acquitted of conspiring to pervert the course of justice. He received a 10-year prison sentence. Also involved was Gregory James King, 30, of Portland Road in Selston, Nottinghamshire, who previously pleaded guilty to kidnap and blackmail and was sentenced to 8 years and 4 months in prison. Dominic Usher's girlfriend, Grianne Cafferkey, 24, of Cromwell Street in Nottingham, was also sentenced to 44 months for previously pleading guilty to pervert the course of justice after she and a friend attempted to pay off a witness in a kidnap case. And Scott Finch, 32, of Durnford Street in Nottingham, previously pleaded guilty to conspiracy to pervert the course of justice and received a 16-month prison sentence. Paul Myers of the East Midlands Special Operations Unit said, "Crime always leaves a footprint, and we do everything within our means to bring violent individuals like Dominic Usher before a judge." Thankfully, the victims in these cases escaped with cuts and bruises, which have since healed, but the psychological effects of their ordeals remains with them forever. I hope the jail terms given to them will give them some comfort to go about their lives without fear. A few weeks before this incident, Dominic Usher was involved in a robbery at a house in Beckley Road, Arnold in Nottinghamshire. A ceramatic vase was smashed over the head of the 31-year-old resident in a hunt for cash and jewellery. She was also punched, tied up and threatened with being stabbed and shot. In Coleshill, Nottinghamshire, 3 days later, Dominic and Jason Usher set fire to the stolen convertible Mazda used in the robbery. Inquiries by detectives not only led them to the Usher brothers and Mr. King for the kidnap, but found further evidence linking Dominic to the robbery. In shocking video footage, it shows prisoners snorting drugs, scoffing McDonald's cheeseburgers and throwing wild parties in jail. Dominic Usher was sentenced to life for kidnap, blackmail, robbery and arson. In one video, he is seen tapping white powder out of a small plastic bag onto the back of his hand and snorting it in his cell while being cheered on by fellow lags. Astonishingly, after claiming he had just come back from court, Dominic Usher holds up a canteen curry before pushing it away to display 2 McDonald's double cheeseburgers. Looking into the camera, he said, Yo, just come back from court, got myself some dead ass curry, but it's not a problem, man just rolled McDonald's off." Another film shows Dominic Usher, who kidnapped a businessman and threatened to chop off his toes, removed a section of wooden shelving covered by milk cartons to reveal a TV. Proudly recording himself, he said, "It just looks like a milkshake, we're not breaking out, mate. And there's my TV, hidden from the screws, yeah?" After being shown the footage obtained by The Sun, prison bosses searched his cell at the prison, seizing a mobile phone and placing him in segregation. A Ministry of Justice spokesman said, "This behaviour is completely unacceptable." As soon as it was brought to our attention, prison staff carried out a search of this offender's cell and seized a mobile phone. He has now been stripped of his privileges, put in segregation and faces a police investigation which could lead to him serving extra time behind bars. We have measures in place to detect mobiles in our prisons, but we are looking at new ways of finding and blocking them, as well as equipping prison officers with the right tools to tackle this issue. Other images posted to Dominic's private Facebook and Instagram accounts show his bed covered in packets of amber leaf rolling tobacco, boxes of ready brek, and instant noodles. There are also pictures of a substance thought to be cannabis wrapped in cling film with the caption, "Just got the reload." A video which appears to show the inmate building a spliff received 222 views by friends and family on his Instagram account. Another inmate is seen taking hits from a smoke-filled bong which looks like it was made from using an asthma inhaler. In one clip, Dominic Usher is recorded dishing out a white powder for a pal to snort before saying he can't handle it either. The criminal who has just taken the line replies, "It is in bits, that's why. That's why it is falling out of my nose." He then turns and flexes his biceps at the camera. Dominic, from Nottingham, is seen tapping out more white powder, then bizarrely says, "I want my mum." Next he raps the lyrics from a rapper Notorious B.I.G.'s song 10 Crack Commandments. "Don't you know bad boys? Move in silence and violence. Text it from your highness. I done squeezed mad clips." Dominic Usher and a gang of kidnappers, including his brother Jason, 27, snatched their 53-year-old victim off the street in Derbyshire in April 2014. They forced him into a van, bound his legs and hands, and threatened to stab him if he did not give them the keys to his safe. When the victim did not surrender, the men paid his friend a visit and attempted to blackmail him. Unsuccessful, they then took their victim to a remote farm in Watnall and left him to find his own way to safety. Shoeless, battered and bruised, with his legs and hands still bound, he eventually flagged down a passing motorist. A few weeks before this incident, Dominic Usher was involved in a robbery at a house in Nottinghamshire. A ceramatic vase was smashed over the head of a 31-year-old resident in the hunt for cash and jewellery. The woman was also punched, tied up and threatened before being stabbed and shot. 3 days later, the Usher brothers set fire to the stolen convertible Mazda they used in the robbery. Inquiries by detectives led them to the duo for the kidnap and further evidence linking Dominic to the robbery. In a last-ditch attempt to escape a lengthy prison sentence, Dominic, with the help from his girlfriend Brianna Cafferty and pal Scott Finch, attempted to pay off a key witness in the kidnap case. After a trial at Stafford Crown Court, he was found guilty of kidnap, blackmail, robbery and arson. The 29-year-old also admitted conspiring to pervert the course of justice. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a tariff of 11.5 years. Greg James King, 32, of Portland Road, Selston, challenged his sentence of 8 years and 4 months, imposed after he admitted blackmail and kidnap. Local news previously told how his phone was confiscated after he filmed himself eating fast food. But Dominic Usher of Nottingham has now been posting selfies on Instagram, doing quizzes with pals on the House Party app, and even watching sport. He captioned one selfie, watching Tyson Fury fight via FaceTime laugh out loud. The Ministry of Justice said lags caught with phones will be punished. It also asked Instagram to axe Dominic's account. In 2018, he appealed his sentence, but senior judges ruled it was not too harsh. Sir John Saunders said Dominic Usher had proved himself not only to be a man who plans out and carries out serious crimes, but is prepared to use high levels of violence in his crimes. So what are your thoughts about Dominic and Jason Usher, and do you believe that the sentences they received reflect the crimes they committed?